Claw up, Carolina Panthers fans. It's almost the 2015 season, and you got to the playoffs last year, but you did it with a losing record. What's up with that? That's not allowed. You can't lose and go to the playoffs. You can't tie and go to the playoffs. Not allowed. Let's see if we can do better in the 2015 season, huh? All right, let's talk about this season. So, we're continuing on our previews of the 2015 season. This is continuation of the NFC South. Obviously, I'm the Mark Weber. You can follow me on Twitter at the Mark Weber. Let's talk about the Panthers. All right. Question number one, Cam Newton. Is this going to be a fantastic year? Some people are asking, is this going to be an MVP year for Cam Newton? The answer is no, it's not going to be an MVP year for Cam Newton. Cam Newton doesn't get into the upper 20s of touchdowns. He's not a guy who's going to throw 4,000, 5,000 yards, really. And part of that is the supporting cast that he has. They're not exceptional. This is probably the best that he's had in a while. Of course, he really suffered from that loss of Steve Smith last season. He definitely missed Steve Smith a lot, as most people would, for sure. But with Calvin Benjamin, who was there before, Greg Olsen, Funches is out there, Ted Ginn Jr. can help out a little bit too. Even with Stewart coming out of the backfield, not exceptional because he does have injury issues at times, but when he is healthy, he can be a top running back. And I think if everything works well, if everybody's healthy, if Funches contributes the way that I think people expect him to contribute as a second-round pick in the draft, then I think this is going to be good. I mean, Greg Olsen is still the safety net, the guy that Cam Newton loves to throw to all the time. And the problem for this offense of the Carolina Panthers, I think, really is going to come down to the offensive line. They started to play really well at the end of last season, but previous to that, they were looking pretty bad. And I don't really know what to expect out of them this season. So that's going to be something to definitely look out for and wait and see on that. When it comes to the defense, of course, we all remember the Carolina Panthers defense is what kept them in a lot of games and gave them the opportunity to win games by not allowing the other team to score. If that remains to be, the equation for this Carolina Panthers football, they're going to still win games. They're going to do really well. They're going to do a lot better than they did last year. That's for sure. So let's go out and let's talk about some of these games. All right, this is what's important. This is what you guys care about. You care about two things, I think. Are the Carolina Panthers going to the playoffs? And are they going to win some games? Which games are they going to win? Let's talk about the second one right now. Starting off against the Jaguars. Boom, easy win. It's the Jaguars, guys. Saints. I say split these ones. This division still is fairly, I don't know, everyone's kind of right at each other's throats, with the exception of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, with that being said, I think pretty much for the Panthers, they're splitting everything. I will even say they will probably split with the Buccaneers, but there's a good chance they don't. But for the sake of argument, they're going to split all the games in the division right now. So, with that being said, Jaguars win that game. Texans lose that game. Then we got the Buccaneers and the Saints. I'm going to give them both those wins right now. Seahawks, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm clawing up. You guys know I claw up all day, every day. But I can't have you guys beat the Seahawks. It just can't happen. The Eagles, once again, probably not. Not going to give you that game either. The Colts, I don't think I'm going to give you that game either, but I am going to give you the Packers game. All right, guys, so I'm giving you something here. You're going to beat the Packers at home. Titans, come on, you can beat the Titans. You can do it. Claw up. You guys can do it. With that being said, now, of course, going to the Redskins, this is where I like this right here. You can beat the Redskins. The Cowboys, winnable game. I'm not 100% sold on it. The fact that it's in Jerry World, and if you guys know Ricky Widmer, who I do the Onside Kick podcast with, he always says when it comes to playing in Jerry World, you can count on the Dallas Cowboys to lose. And I'm going to go with that. You guys can beat the Cowboys as well. Then we got the Saints game. I already gave you one, so I'm going to have you lose this one. Falcons. You haven't played the Falcons yet, so I'm going to give you a win against the Falcons here. Giants, win. Falcons again. This is the loss, unfortunately. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I already had you winning against them once. This one I'll have you lose. It doesn't mean that the last game of the season is the game that you lose. This might be a situation where you got to beat the Buccaneers. Well, I mean, it's the Buccaneers. You probably don't have to beat the Buccaneers to win the division, but it certainly doesn't hurt. And I think this schedule, the way it goes, you have a good ending to it. You have, unfortunately, a lot of divisional games at the end. 2 against the Falcons, 1 against the Saints, 1 against the Buccaneers. So that's going to be tough, and you really got to play strong at the end in order to actually get into the playoffs. I do think that the Carolina Panthers have everything they need to get into the playoffs. Unfortunately, this division has been just thrown around for whoever wants to win it, whichever season. And I don't think that's going to really change. I think this is going to be very competitive between the Saints, the Panthers, and, of course, the Falcons. Once again, the Buccaneers are going to sit and watch for a little bit, a season or two. But I think those 3 teams will be very, very competitive. And I think that Carolina Panthers can go out ahead. They've already proven that the defense will stop other teams from scoring, and Cam Newton and now his better receiving core need to just do enough to win games. And I think this receiving core is much better than last year. Funches is going to be a great addition, I believe. I fully believe in him next to Kelvin Benjamin to go out there and win these games. With that being said, I like the Carolina Panthers. I always do. I'm always clawing up with you guys. So I think this is going to be a good season. I think you can get into the playoffs. I think you can do good things once you get there. So if you have, any disagreements, agreements, whatever it is, let me know down in the comment section. Also on Twitter at @TheMarkWeber. You can follow Most Valuable Podcasts at Most Valuable Pod and head over in this direction so you can check out our NFC South preview. Until next time, hit the subscribe button so you know when our next video goes up when we continue previewing the 2015 NFL season. Don't forget that we started a Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcasts to check out all of our reward options. Remember, you can still get our content for free by subscribing to our YouTube page. But if you want to support us financially, now you can be rewarded for doing so. The link's in the description. What are you waiting for?